Introducing the all-new BYD Sea Lion 7, the luxury electric SUV that's changing the game. Book your free test drive today at the BYD showroom in Sheffield.
Dr. Steelhammer, Vladimir Klitschko, and Dr. Iron Fist, Vitaly Klitschko, Shannon the Cannon Brigg, and Butterbean, Cruiserweight King Jai Opetaia.
Boxing King Media powered by BYD. We're out here in Dubai at the Kamani. Is it Kamani Boxing Club or just Kamani Club?
Kamani Club. But yeah, there's boxing and all sorts going on here. Paddle, weightlifting, you can get it all done.
There definitely is, man. It's a nice gym. But you know, before we speak, and I did this last time when I interviewed you at your restaurant, and I was like to remind the fans, former British, Commonwealth, European, World Cruiserweight champion, and former Bridgeweight World champion, so two-weight World champion, and cleaned up domestically, Mr. Lawrence Okolie.
Thank you. It's always good to hear. More to come, more to come.
It is, God willing. How's life, mate, in Dubai? Clearly, I've seen you train today, so whatever injury you had that you pulled out recently, are you well now?
Yeah, no, it was a short-term injury. It was just one where it stopped me from actually being able to train for a number of weeks. So there's no way I could go into a fight, you know, unprepared. That's not really the way that I like to do things. But you know, fortunately, we're healed up. We're still working, but we're getting the job done.
Yeah, because there was no actual explanation about, you know, your injury. You know, one day you was, you know, sending some smack to Richard Riakpo, and then a few days later you pulled out. So can you kind of explain them few days what went wrong and why, you know, there was no way you could fight? Yeah,
so even before the smack's completely different in terms of training. I picked up an injury before the Riyadh show, and I thought, oh, okay, it's all right. I'll kind of push through, got sparring partners in, kind of was working with it, and then one of the sparring days it was just too much. So I was told I need to rest, otherwise it's going to become a bigger injury. So I gave it 2 weeks, thought, okay, cool, it's coming back. Then I sparred again and it came back, so I said, all right, there's no way that I can do what I need to do to actually be able to fight. So that was it, really.
Sound stuff. And obviously off that actual card, obviously you never turned up on the night, but did you watch Joe Joyce's performance? And obviously he's lost to Hrgović. I know you predicted that he'd lose to Hrgović, but what did you make of his performance, and should he carry on, which is the ultimate question?
I think the only person that can answer that's him. I thought like he I mean, listen, everyone would have thought Hrgović was probably going to knock him out. They went 10 rounds, and you know, I thought it was quite competitive, the fight. So yeah, he did his thing.
Okay, and then with regards to the injury, as you said there, you're back in training, so you're ready for a potential fight date.
Yeah, anytime. You know, obviously the team know, you know, that I'm back with, and obviously communicating, seeing how the rehab's gone and everything like that. So yeah, we're ready to crack on with camp anytime.
And then training situations. Want to speak to you about Joe. Obviously, he made it public about his cancer battle. You can obviously tell us firsthand how dedicated he is to the sport, because despite the battle he's going through, he still wants to rock up in Dubai. I know he did some work with you recently, so what would you make of all that?
No, obviously it changed the way that I look at him as a character. I always thought he loved boxing and loved these fighters, but then when I look now at, you know, him kind of holding that to himself while, you know, all of the fighters from the gym had their fights. I had my first heavyweight fight. He was going through that, didn't say anything, still came out, helped me train. And then, you know, and that's not just with my fights, with Tasha's fights, with everyone's fights that was happening. And I can only imagine how hard it is, you know, when they're like, mate, you need to, why aren't you in Dubai helping me? Why aren't you? You know how fighters are. We're very like, we're kind of, I don't want to say selfish, but we kind of believe it's about us. We don't even think about our culture and what they're going through. So for him to kind of put what was going on with him on the back burner to let us kind of focus completely on fighting, you know, my respect for him shot through the roof. And then even since, he's still been, you know, when I was meant to box Richard, coming out here despite everything. But yeah, like, it's always loving, you know, he's top tier guy.
Did you pick up anything in the months or weeks before?
No, nothing at all. Like I said, even now, if he didn't make a public thing, you would never know, because he still looks good and he's still you know, pushing everyone and, you know, keeping up. And he's for him, he's selfless. Like it's all about hey, are you doing your runs? How's your this? How's your that? And when you ask him about what's going on with him, it's very just, yeah, no, all good, don't worry. Like, how are you getting on? So, yeah.
It's good to hear that, because you do sometimes hear people say, negative things. So it's good that you can kind of shed light on him as a person from first-hand experience. Obviously, it's kind of a two-part thing, but going to obviously ask you about Richard Riakpo. Is he next? Is he going to be rescheduled? But at the same time, I see you've been harassing DILLIAN WHYTE. It's his birthday. It's his birthday today, and you've been giving him some shit online. So what is it? We'll start with Riakpo. Is it going to be Riakpo next? What's happening?
I don't know. It depends on where the chips lay. Riakpo's not really the direction that I'm going in terms of heavyweight and so on. The opportunity did arise for us to fight. Unfortunately, I got injured, but it's not like at the forefront of the journey I'm trying to go on. I've won cruiserweight, I've won bridgerweight. I'm trying to get heavyweight, and if at some point I decide, yeah, let's get it on, we'll get it on. But as of right now, we're looking for bigger and better fights.
Okay. Is that anything to do with the fact that you're ranked as a WBC #1? I think from what I've seen, Richard isn't anywhere near that ranking. So is that
not so much? I mean, that ranking is obviously fantastic, but I have to fight before I get let's say Caballero or whatever else. Obviously, we push for that fight, but I don't think he's in a fight for a few months, so we have to go a different route. And like I said, Richard is like. It was a fun fight for England. It was a good fight that the fans would have got behind, but it's not really. If you're looking for like an actual plan to become a world champion at heavyweight, it's not really on the radar.
Okay. And just before we talk about DILLIAN, the ranking situation, I think you've addressed it slightly before, but there's a lot of videos out there, people complaining about you becoming WBC #1. And I've seen over the years with the WBC where fighters have retired and they've come back after a year out, they've been given immediate title shots. And they've always had this rule about people who've been champions with them in other divisions where they kind of look after them if you're moving up and down weights. So I think it's worth probably putting that out there as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, it is where it is, I think with the WBO, if you're a world heavyweight champion, or if you're world champion in any weight class, when you go up, you get an immediate shot. Same WBC, it might not be an immediate shot, but you get ranked. And for me, I was kind of right place, right time. Obviously, I was bridgerweight champion. I got ranked like 7 or 8 or whatever it was. And then the people above me all either had fights or retired. Tyson Fury retired. Zhang lost. Okolie decided to go to IBF and he lost. So if you just look at it logically, these guys are getting picked up. They're still great fighters, but they're getting picked off, and for one reason or another, their rankings change. Where mine's just, okay, I've gone from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 based on how things go. But at the end of the day, if you look at it, if I get away from the noise, from like whatever the sort of opinion-based stuff is, if you look at it factually, I've been a world champion in 2 different weights. I had my fight at heavyweight, won the WBC silver, and now I'm ranked #1. It just is what it is.
And the other guys in that top 10, I'm going to name drop them to you. Do you think they deserve to be there, or if not, explain? So you've got you at #1, you've got Anthony Joshua at #2, Fabio Wardley at 3, F.A. Jagber at 4, Martin Okolie 5, Frank Sanchez 6, Zhang at 7, Jalolov 8, Hrgovic 9, and Murad Aliyev at 10.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why all those people are there. I think Aliyev's got some sort of WBC belt, which obviously gives you a ranking. Jobelov's 2-time Olympic champion. Obviously, Hrgovic just come back with a win over Joe Joyce. Obviously, Okolie was highly ranked and obviously lost. Who else did you say in that?
You got AJ at 2, Fabio Wardley at 3.
Former two-time world champion. Just had a loss to another world champion, Fabio. He's been on a good run of form, beating all the domestic guys. So yeah.
Who do you see as the biggest threat out of them 10? I'll just show it to you for you when I have a look at them.
As in,
if you're #1, if you pick up the belt at some point, who's the biggest threat, do you think, outside that?
It's hard to say. Styles do make fights. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I like Jobelov's the most.
It's Jalolov.
Yeah, Jalolov.
You ruined his name.
Him, yeah. He's probably one of the best ones out of that list, but he's obviously just not known yet.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's struggling to get opponents. From the last time I spoke to someone in his team, they're asking for too much dough to fight him. Dillian White, his birthday today. Do you wanna? I've got a message for his birthday wishes or anything.
No, I've given him his birthday wish.
Okay. He responded as well. I've just seen that, you know, on you put on his Instagram, in fact, on your own Instagram. I'm not going to read what you've said, but he's responded. Well done, my son. You are learning.
Yeah.
What's all that about?
That's what I would put if I didn't want to fight someone. That's the exact message I would put. Yeah, mate. Yeah, my junior. Like, yeah, I don't, because understandably, he don't like. Listen, it's not for me to go out of my way to say this conversations that's been having behind closed doors, but you know, I don't think we'll see that fight happen.
Why Dillian White? Where's that come from?
I just look at the landscape always. So when the Richard fight happens, because you look at the landscape, everyone's fighting. Like all of the top guys are fighting or point blank saying they don't want to fight. Like all power to Joe Joyce, all power to Dillian White. On that show, despite me getting injured, I'd asked to fight both of them. Both of them said no. It is what it is. This is documented from my promoters, everything like that. So you just kind of keep going, and everyone's having fights. So we go for another round where I'm looking at the top 10, everyone's having fights, we were pushing for the Caballero fight. He's not fighting again until September. So it's just like, okay, well, you go through the list, who else is there? Well, there's Dillian. Obviously, I don't want him to retire without me and him fighting. He hasn't got many options, if we're honest, but for me, it'd just be wrong, you know, because since 2019 or whatever else, we had a little back and forth and whatever else, and I always feel like I was cruiserweight, despite me going on winning world championships and whatever else. It's like there's some names you just want to tick off, and he's one that I do want to tick off. But as I said, from what I'm gathering, I don't think he's up for it.
If you're Dillian White, put yourself in his position, from his perspective, towards the end of his career, and I think you said yourself looking at big fights, would you fight Lawrence Okolie?
Well, you have to look at what the other options are. The other options are you sit around and wait to be an opponent and get splattered by like Anthony Joshua or something like that, or pray that Derek Chisora gives you the fight. Those are the only two kind of names where he could fight that he's linked to. If AJ decides he wants to take over, that's one. Although I don't think that's going to happen. And then the next one is someone like Derek Chisora, who's now ranked #1, like going to be mandatory for the IBF. So I don't see him and Dillian fighting now either. So Dillian's kind of in a situation where he's got great history in boxing. I'll never take that away from him. But in terms of what does it look like from here, not many options. So might as well go for a big rivalry with myself.
Well, before I close off, Dillian, I forgot to mention one of your other credentials is rapping. You've got some beats out there. Any particular beats or raps you want to drop for Dillian on his birthday?
No, I don't do that. Just normal happy birthday.
Good man. And then obviously you've got Eubank Ben in a couple of weeks' time. I just want to get your opinion on it. What do you think?
I toss and turn on the daily. You know, if not for the stuff that I see on socials of Conor Ben's training and stuff, I would have said that Eubank should win because he's obviously more experienced, bigger, been boxing over the last couple of years, where Conor Ben hasn't. But Conor Ben looks like he's training like a madman. So youth and explosiveness might get it done.
Wicked. Any last message for any other heavyweights out there that want some smoke from Lawrence Okolie?
I mean, everyone knows, anyone, anytime, we're ready to go. And I'm just waiting for one of these guys to say yes, and then I can show what I'm talking about at heavyweight.
Lawrence Okolie, thank you for your time.
Sweet.
Yeah,